like a saute, but we're not moving it around at all. We're just going to leave it by itself. We're going to do nice browning on the outside, and then we're going to finish it in the oven. Okay, nice hot oven. 375 degrees. Whenever we put some meat to any kind of heat, we cook it, we're always going to season it really well. Okay?
First?
And we season it really well on both sides. So yes, first.
Because on the procedures for roasting beef, it has a seasoning after.
On the, this is chicken.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
And you know, honestly, I cannot tell you why that is the way that is. But, you know, it might just have something to do with the way that the beef browned or something like that. So, this pan is nice and warm, as you can see. And I decided to use chicken fat because we started off with a lot of chicken fat after we made all our stock, and I love that. This is all from us. Okay, so I seasoned it really good. It's going to go into the pan, and it's going to go into the pan away from me.
Inside down.
Okay? And then I'm going to leave it alone, so be careful around this area, right? Because I don't want to burn. Let's back on the heat. We're not going to mess with that chicken breast until it's nice and golden brown. You notice that I scored it a little bit. I also took off that breast tender. Okay? Please take off the breast tender whenever you make this recipe because that'll make the portion size too big. This is about 6 ounces of meat. That's just right for an entree size dish.
How do you keep it from puffing up a little bit? Like when you start to cut it?
It's going to contract because we're using high heat, so the muscles are going to contract. The skin also is going to contract. So I don't know if you noticed, but I scored it a couple of times. Just through the skin, not through the meat. I scored it a couple of times through the skin, and that's going to help it not shrink up as much and change shape. Now I don't want to see you guys jabbing at these things with tongs, so you can either learn how to use your meat fork to flip it, or you can use this nice little spatula. Okay. Next thing, I'm going to show you another way to make the mushroom soup, since we have all these extra mushrooms. If your recipe really does say 12 ounces of mushrooms for this recipe, that's entirely too much. Okay. So I'm going to use some of the mushrooms for a mushroom soup. We're controlling our heat. If you notice it's starting to smoke, it's too hot, turn it down. Okay? I will use the clarified butter for this one. For the mushroom soup, you can feel free, like I said, when you have the option of utilizing something that's the same quality, you can make the decision what you want to do. You want to make it with the chicken fat, you want to make it with the butter. For me, since it's a mushroom soup, usually people that order that assume that there's no meat in there. So if a vegetarian's ordering a cream mushroom soup, I tend not to try to put, chicken in there, especially these days. Now, nice and warm. We're going to start off with the clarified butter.
And this is for the soup, right?
This is for the mushroom soup. I'm going to show you how easy this is.
How much clarified butter you want to use?
Enough to coat the bottom of the pan. We're sauteing, right? Okay. So we're going to get that on there. We're going to get some nice brown coloring on those mushrooms. These guys soak up a little bit of the fat. So sometimes I use a little extra. But we definitely don't want to be frying the mushrooms. Yeah, that was it. Go ahead. Okay. And typically when we make this mushroom soup, we'll also get a little bit of garlic in there. Does anybody have any minced garlic? Your station?
We can. I can mince some.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to. No. This is just kind of an impromptu thing. If you have a microplane piece of garlic that's peeled, microplane. Go to the microplane with that.
Thank you, guys.
Right there, mince.